Who is this guy that revolutionized the fashion industry? This is Michael Jordan, an athlete whose impact stretched far beyond the basketball court. How did his brand, Jordan, become so popular? Back in 1984, Nike was mostly known for running shoes, not basketball. Their basketball division and sales were tiny, and overall the company wasn't in great shape financially. Sales were dropping, competition was rising, and Nike needed something big. They were searching for a spark, something that could push them into the basketball world and rebuild their momentum. That spark ended up being Michael Jordan, a rookie with superstar potential who would later transform not just Nike, but the entire sneaker and streetwear culture. So what did Nike do? This is where Sonny Vaccaro entered the picture. Sonny Vaccaro was a Nike executive known for spotting raw talent early, and he saw something special in a young rookie named Michael Jordan. Sonny strongly believed Jordan could become the face of Nike basketball even though Jordan wasn't proven yet. He pushed hard, convincing Nike leadership to take a massive risk and gamble their future on signing him. At the time, Nike already approached Jordan and other brands were showing interest, but Nike made a move no one else was willing to make. They didn't just offer Jordan a contract, they offered him his own signature shoe line, built entirely around him. This was unheard of for a rookie and showed exactly how much faith was placing on Jordan to change the entire direction of their company. The Jordan deal with Nike changed the shoe industry and helped Nike regain popularity. This led to a revolution because it forever changed shoe culture. It changed shoe culture because it showed new ways to style shoes and brought fashion with basketball shoes.
Michael Jordan was never a fan of Nike. He usually wore and praised Converse, a shoe brand that he wore throughout school. Michael was also a huge fan of Adidas, whom he tried to sign with, but Adidas never wanted to collaborate. According to basketballnetwork.net, in an interview with Michael Jordan, he said,
"In the beginning, it could have been Adidas, not Nike."
Yeah.
Tell me how that went down. What was going on in your head?
You know what? The thing is, I never wore Nike shoes until I signed a Nike contract. All through college, we wore Converse. And up to that point, my favorite shoe was an Adidas shoe, you know. And at the time that everybody was starting recruiting me about what shoes to wear, I was pro Adidas, you know, the whole time. And then once I went through the presentation with Nike, you know, they really made a grave effort of trying to, you know, have my input on the shoes, design any shoes that I wanted to wear. But then I was very loyal. I went back to Adidas, the Adidas contract that I had, and said, look, you know, this is the Nike contract. If you come anywhere close, you know, I'll sign with you guys.
Give me something.
Down. Just anywhere close to what they were putting on the table. But at that time, Adidas was a European brand product that they didn't really make a strong, you know, push for the States, and they didn't feel like it was worth it, you know, which in hindsight is perfect for me because it made my decision that much easier, and I ended up with Nike. And from that point on, the relationship just started to blossom.
If you didn't go with Nike and Adidas got you, how would that change both you and how would that change Adidas and Nike?
Well, it's hard to say that what if should never be in the dictionary because you never see the flip side of that. I think the thing that would have been consistent would have been that my play would have dictated, you know, everything off the court. You know, I don't think the shoes would have changed my whole outlook in terms of how I played the game. But I think I could have enhanced the shoe as in terms of how it would have been marketed. So I mean, would the brand still be as strong if it was an Adidas brand? We'll never know. You know, because a lot of it transcended what was happening on the basketball court to the marketing aspect. All my other marketing, from McDonald's to Coke, all that came in, you know, behind all the way I was playing the game of basketball. So Adidas could have pulled off all that as much as Nike. You know, so I don't know. But the good thing about it is I'm happy where I am. You know, I'm happy with the relationship. I'm happy everything worked out for the best.
In October 1984, Michael Jordan signed a 5-year contract with Nike worth around $2.5 million, a number that was more than 3 times what any NBA shoe endorsement had offered before. It was a massive leap for both sides, and Nike was hoping the gamble would pay off. Then in April 1985, Nike released the very first shoe in what would eventually become a legendary line, the Air Jordan 1. The design was bold and eye-catching, bright red and black. Nothing like the plain and mostly white basketball shoes that have dominated the NBA at times. Because of its colors, the shoe violated league's strict uniform rules, and Jordan was fined every time he wore them on the court. The Air Jordan 1 faced a backlash from the NBA after Jordan donned the black and red sneakers during a preseason game in 1985. The NBA sent a letter to Nike stating the red and black Nike basketball shoes violated league's policy, incurring a $5,000 fine per game. The NBA policy was that shoes had to be 51% white, in accordance with what the rest of the team was wearing. Nike welcomed the controversy, agreeing to pay each fine. The company's investment in the polarizing sneakers grew in publicity and transcended into a statement of going against the establishment, according to Kunkel from Temple University.
That changed everything. What began as a basketball performance shoe turned into a cultural phenomenon. Air Jordans didn't only belong on the court, they became fashion statements, status symbols, and would become global sneaker culture. According to TheGuardian.com, over the years, the Jordan brand made Nike $5.1 billion, up 70% from 2020. Based on that figure, its namesake would have pulled in $256 million from a decades-old licensing deal without lifting a finger, let alone a basketball. More than the double amount from his entire NBA career. The sneaker transformed no longer into a functional footwear, but wearable cultural icons. The Jordan line helped turn Nike from a struggling athletic shoe company into an icon that shaped the idea that a shoe could be part of an athletic gear, part lifestyle. That moment changed everything. What started as a performance basketball shoe quickly became into a cultural force. Air Jordans weren't just shoes for the court anymore. They became fashion statements, symbols of status, and foundation of what would become modern global sneaker culture.
Over the years, Jordans evolved from a simple athletic gear into wearable icons recognized all around the world. Their influence reached far outside sports, into music, fashion, streetwear, and youth identity. The Jordan line helped elevate Nike from a struggling company to survive into one of the most powerful brands in the world. The success of Air Jordans also introduced a new idea, an idea that a shoe could represent both athletic performance and lifestyle. It showed companies that sneakers could be cultural objects, things people collected, traded, and built communities around, and that shift changed footwear forever. Overall, Nike was struggling both financially and culturally in 1984, but while betting everything on Michael Jordan, giving him his own signature line, embracing controversy, and selling more than just a product, they created a movement. They didn't only sell sneakers, they sold an identity, a sense of style, an entire lifestyle built around greatness and individually. This partnership reshaped Nike's future, reshaped the sneaker industry, and reshaped global culture. And today, every pair of Jordans you see, whether on the court, on the street, or in someone's collection, is a reminder of that revolution. The lines between sport, fashion, and personal identity are forever changed because of the Air Jordan legacy.